Okay, so this is what happens when I go home after a dyno session of testing. I sit there and think, and yeah, look what I've done. I see a lot of people claiming, 10, 15, 20 horsepower from porting out the manifold, and I figured, you know what, let's do it. I've got nothing else better to do today. The weather's pretty crappy here, so I actually had a 90mm throttle body that was just sitting here. I bought it ages ago for some testing, but haven't really needed to do anything. So we whacked this one on the factory manifold as it was, and even though it's 90mm on the backside, the actual hole here is 84mm. So surprisingly, and it did give us, it was around 2 to 3 kilowatts increase. So, there is some merit in it. We are on the hub dyno, so look, I believe everything the hub dyno says. There is no influence with tyres. So, that is what we see. It's as accurate as an engine dyno. The only difference is you've got your transmission. But I did do a back-to-back test with the throttle body, same temperature, same oil temperature, same everything this morning. So I ran the car up this morning after I warmed it up. It backed up what it did last night. When I made the Titan 1 versus the Titan 2 versus Titan 1 video, and then I swapped it over. It took like 5 minutes to do, and yeah, look, it actually is good for that much. So I'll show the dyno graphs later in the video showing the difference. But this is what everyone talks about when they port these things out. So they port the throat out, and then also the match porting of the runners. So they're actually quite a fair bit out. The top side of the chamber is probably about 3 to 4 mil. So I actually had to dig into this edge here on all of them and square them up and line them all up. So didn't really need much porting internally. I don't know if there's much to be gained there, but I need some pretty long burrs to get in there and finish it off. But in the interim, that's what I've done there. I don't think it's really going to do much in that area, but I think this is where the gains are going to be had. So the original size is 84mm, and now I've taken it up to 88mm. Still got a couple more mil up our sleeve if I can find it. Being a Saturday and not having a spare manifold here, I wasn't willing to garbage this one up, so I figured at least try and get some data out of this thing. So I've ported it out as much as I feel comfortable to go. Pretty confident we can go a lot more, but I'd rather have a backup manifold here just in case. So if anyone out there has a manifold and they want to send it to us, I'll happily buy it off you. I just can't really find one at the moment, so I would like to get in there and mow it right out with a wood bit, and wherever you pop through, continue on, and obviously find the thicknesses and bore it right out, because if we can make it another 1.5 to 2 mils bigger over the whole area, that would be handy. So, but what we've done is we've ported it out. It's actually tapered, and then it tapers back to an oval. So we've really worked in the area, and look, we have increased it quite a fair bit. So pretty confident we should see something happen there if it requires it. One thing I did notice with the engine vacuum, with the standard throttle body, we're seeing like 96 kPa at the end of the run, and when we put the 90mm throttle body on, we're actually seeing 98 kPa. So it'd be interesting to see what the kPa does, the manifold pressure at the end of the run. So when we put this on, but yeah, stay tuned. We'll get the manifold back on, and then go from there. And yeah, let's see if the 10, 15 or 20 horsepower that everyone claims is there. Obviously, some may have a bigger throat, so we might get some different results. But at the end of the day, if we see another 5 or 10 horsepower or whatever in kilowatts, it's free power, so you've got to take it. But let's find out. Let's get into it. What a big day it's been. So here is the results. Not quite what we were expecting. Well, really, we can't really expect too much because we haven't done it. So going off what other people's results are, it's a little bit different. But look, at the end of the day, we have made gains. I'll just zoom out there. So, yep. So as you can see, so Titan 1 camshaft. I've just put this in this test, following on from my other video where I compared the two camshafts. I figured it's worthy and it should stay in here, so we always got a back-to-back reference. So, so the Titan 1 camshaft, you know, is still a great camshaft, and it does make more torque off the bottom. It is marginal. You probably would never notice it out in the road, but it does make more torque off the bottom. However, well, like with the Titan 1 camshaft, you get to maintain the VVT, which is a really good thing, and I do like it. Although, as you can see in the top, it doesn't quite need it. But the size of the camshaft, for how it is, it's very streetable. It's very nice and forgiving the drive. It doesn't have much driveline clunk through the system. Like it's not a rocky cam by any means. So really good camshaft for, say, like a Jeep Cherokee or a family car, where something you're going to give to the missus and drive to school and so on, and you don't want that compromise. So you want to get rid of the old lifters, get rid of the cylinder system, and go to a camshaft. And the Titan 1 is still my favourite cam. Like, I am super happy with that cam, and the fact that it drives like a normal car and you can give it to the missus, or an L-plater, or so on. So anyone can drive it. It's just really easy to drive. So I just got to get back onto that. So that's how you make a decision between these two cams, is do you want something that's grumpy or do you not? So the Titan 1 camshaft, really smooth, good street manners, day-to-day driving, tick. But if you're not worried about that and you want something that makes all the top end power and you're going to go racing and you don't care if the car's a bit clunky and jerky, okay, now we're in Titan 2 territory. So 393 kilowatts, 656 newton meters, and as you can see, yes, the newton meters have dropped, but that's only because of the camshaft where it makes its power. So but now to the test that we were the whole reason why we're doing this video. So we had a 90mm throttle body, as we said earlier. Figured, let's throw it on, let's see what it does. So no porting in the manifold, just whack it on, no changes to the tune, warm it up, get the oil temperature back to the same as what we've been doing all our tests. And yep, so 394.6 kilowatts, 661 newton meters. So torque is up. Now that's a good thing. So the torque side of things being up is obviously we're picking up the power through the mid now. So that's a really good thing. Unfortunately, the lines are all so close. You can, it's marginal off the bottom, but at the end of the day, like, the torque is still, it's starting to come up through here. So we're starting to get some life back into the system. So that's a good thing. Is it worth the money, the hassle to stick it on there? Look, I don't know. That's a hard one. Like, at the end of the day, horsepower is horsepower, or kilowatts is kilowatts, and torque is torque. So any gain you make is worth it in my eyes. It's just, that's 3 horsepower, so you got to take it. But to the big test is where we poured out the manifold, enlarge the throat, and yeah, bring it up to, at the moment it's, what we say was 90, so sorry, 88 mil, where the throttle body's 90. So we could probably squeeze a little bit more out of it. But yeah, as I said earlier, we need to get another manifold and really hack it up so we know what our thicknesses are. The last thing you want to do is have the neck snap off it. So, but anyway, so 398 kilowatts and 664 newton meters. So now we're starting to come to life. So yes, there are gains, as you can see there. Like, there's good gains, and you check it out at the top here. So we start to come on sort of midway. This is around sort of 5,000 revs here. So we start to wake up here. This is where we start to get the VE of the engine back up, and we get to maintain it the whole way. So this purple line here is the Titan 1 camshaft, so let's ignore that one. And if we look at the red, the green, and the blue, so red is the Titan 2 camshaft on its own, stock throttle body, stock manifold. Green is just a 90mm stuck on there, and then the blue is the 90mm as well as being ported. So watching the manifold vacuum, we're now sort of maintaining around 99, 100 kPa, and then we drop back to about 98 kPa in the top end of the rev range, where previously with the red graph, which is just the Titan 2, we were pulling back to 96 kPa. So the engine wants more airflow, and it wants the throttle body. It definitely needs it. I feel if we could just open that manifold up a little bit more, we just might crack the 400 kilowatt. I've tried so hard. This is it. I can't get any more. I've done everything I can physically think of. That this is just where it is. I can't get any more out of it. So yeah, would definitely like to do a little bit more development on the manifold and get a bit more aggressive with it. But look, you're talking like 1 or 2 kilowatts at that point. I just don't think, with the manifold vacuum being around 99, 100 kPa through the middle, and pulling back to 98, like we're getting pretty close. Like to be able to hold 100 kPa the whole way you're starting to touch on F1s and like some pretty, high VE engines, like really good stuff. So, definitely a set of cylinder heads is where we're going next, and I think that's what we're going to need. So there is a test. It's far from what people claim. Some people might criticise me and say, yep, but the other manifolds are more aggressively ported or whatever. Look, I could be wrong. This is my testing. This is what we've come up with, and that's what I've done. If someone wants to argue it or whatever, get me a manifold and I'll stick it on and we'll see. It's not a debate at the end of the day. This is just pure and simply my R&D that I have done on my own back, and the testing that I've come up with, and this is where we are. So, but yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this little bit of development. I've certainly had fun doing this. This is the sort of stuff that I really, really enjoy, and I wish I could do it every day. So yeah, so once again, thanks to Macy for letting us use his car. Like, he's an absolute champion, and we have learnt absolutely heaps, but we haven't finished. We're going to continue working with these things until we got them mastered. So thanks guys, thanks for watching, and see you next time. Catch ya.